Then boy.
Say, Bafetu. Another week, another episode. We
Yeah.
are back. Vuyo Mfanagit, how's it?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just, happy to record.
That's good
As
to
always.
hear. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah. What up? What's on your mind? What's been on
my
your mind lately? Yeah.
My mind is always busy, Joe.
Yeah.
There's always something on my mind. But
Mm.
what I want us to talk about is this thing I've been hearing, Joe, and I never get the answers. What is this thing that everyone is talking about?
Yeah. There's a lot of things people are
Toxic
talking
masculinity.
about.
Toxic masculinity.
There's word toxic
And there's masculinity.
in it. So I'm assuming that it's something that has to do with men being
Toxic.
Yeah. Assuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first heard the word.
It means something different.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's why I'm confused.
Okay.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's talking about men being toxic.
Yeah. It
Nah.
sounds like that.
But when they describe some of the behaviors, they classify under this toxic masculinity umbrella.
Yeah.
Hi, you get confused a little bit with hi man. Can't just ngani?
Yeah, go riff.
Go riff, come on,
Go
So
riff.
I just wanted us to talk about it.
Yeah,
And
but I don't
just-
know much. Let me put it out there first. So whatever I'm gonna say, it's probably something that it's on my mind, and
Okay.
it's from my own understanding, right? 'Cause
Okay.
I've never actually dwelt on understanding what could be toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Because it's always, if there's toxic masculinity, they're gonna bring up misogyny, and then they're gonna bring up patriarchy. Those are very confusing terms. There's so many terms.
Man, bakhulumiwe
Yeah, and they only describe the behavior of men.
as being toxic, as if
Yeah,
we are the only toxic gender in the world.
that's the thing. If
Mara
we wanna talk
sinala
about,
ngoba
we're gonna need a
ayikho le
female.
gender,
Yeah,
Yeah, so let's
So-
just talk about this masculinity thing.
yeah.
Okay.
What
Let me just
what does Google say?
Okay, let me ask Google with you.
Yeah,
What is this
Uncle
toxic?
Google probably has a
Just
better,
so we have a solid definition of
Yeah.
what we are talking about. Ne?
Yeah.
This is what I'm reading from Google. Don't judge my reading.
Right.
I wear glasses. That's an excuse.
Okay.
Yeah. The concept of toxic masculinity is used in academic and media discussions of masculinity to refer to certain cultural norms that are associated with harm to society and to men themselves.
Hmm?
Isingamlesibhaya boy.
Hmm?
Isingamlesibhaya. But basically, I think what they are saying is toxic masculinity refers to cultural norms
Okay.
that are associated with harm to society.
So it's not
And to men.
specifically for. In fact,
It's
All
norms,
around.
behaviors,
yeah.
or things that are considered normal
Yeah.
that are also a harm to society and to men.
What could be one of the
Okay.
example?
Let me. I think I found something
Okay.
again. Anyazi lento engiyifundayo, but
Yeah.
it's one of the things. I'm reading the internet.
Oh, you are reading for
Yeah,
us.
I'm reading the internet.
Read, Baba.
Bullet
read.
number one. Okay, I'm a traits now. This is what they are saying. These are the traits:
Yeah.
using or threatening violence.
Ukwachisa.
Basically,
Okay.
toxic masculinity ukuthi nikwajisana.
Mm.
Number two, controlling others. Toxic masculinity.
Yo.
Again, I have a lot to say.
Okay. What for?
Let me move on.
Yeah.
Acting aggressively, suppressing emotions.
Is that toxic?
Yes,
To who?
thus says the internet.
To who? Like it.
To the society and to men
So if-
themselves. That's what the definition says.
Okay. Continue.
Let me just read all these things.
Yeah,
and
please.
We'll just talk. you
Yeah,
know?
please do.
Okay. Suppressing emotions, right?
Yeah.
Trying to appear tough.
Okay.
That's toxic, Vuyo. Don't do that.
Yeah, let's continue reading.
Don't
We're gonna have
appear
a conversation about this thing. Alright. Hey, interesting.
Treating sex as a competition.
sex, like
Yes, Vuyo.
Klof.
Yeah. Kloof is not a competition, Vuyo. That's toxic
Who
masculinity.
competes with that? Okay, continue. There are men out there
Feeling entitled to sex from others.
and yeah, that one is very toxic.
But is it toxic masculinity?
We're gonna break down the words
Yes.
too. Yeah, we're gonna break down the words.
Using power over women, weaker men, and marginalized groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the internet says
okay.
are traits of toxic
Before
masculinity.
we continue with this, ne?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Moore, he wrote a book.
Robert Moore. Who's Robert Moore?
Robert Moore, some guy in who talks
48
about
Laws
men.
of Power.
Not
That guy.
Not that
Robert
guy.
Banlon. Robert Greene.
Yeah,
that's
Robert Greene.
Uh-huh.
Where's my book? Why am I looking for a book? As if I was reading this other book.
Yeah.
I wanna check because I think I made some notes in Jela.
Oh, okay.
Hey, imagine.
Nice.
No,
Notes.
it's not about this. It's about the book and
Oh,
the
okay.
one I was reading. And imagine the guy, he talks about this thing in his book.
Toxic masculinity.
Not necessarily masculinity. He talks
Uh-huh.
about a man, you know.
Yeah.
So to him, a man, it's routine. Hey, it's incredible incwadi qala before nje ngikhuluma into ezibheke eceleni. I have so many-
Maranje lento yaka toxic masculinity, boy, to be honest,
Yeah.
for me it's confusing. It's
Yeah.
really confusing.
The boy wrote the book King
Because
Warrior.
some of these things, this
Yeah.
is why I'm confused. Some of these things that they are talking about here
Yeah.
are not exclusively male behavior.
Yeah.
Ne?
Yeah.
And exclusively male behavior. And some of them I don't really think are toxic.
Like this I was landele. No. There's one thing I always have
And controlling others, is that a male thing?
No. Unfortunately, there's no woman to testify to attest to that.
And
Yeah,
listen to
they're
lazy,
keeping emotions to yourself.
they, you know what? Another thing that these people like to do,
Yeah.
how they use their big English makes it sound toxic.
Yeah.
Instead of saying keeping emotions to yourself, they say suppressing emotions.
how?
Yes, boy. You shouldn't suppress your emotions.
I understand.
If
But
you wanna cry in public, cry.
No, but like at some
If
point.
you don't want to cry, Vuyo, that's toxic masculinity.
Why?
Stop that. You're being harmful to the society.
How am I affecting anyone? I know one thing with bottling stuff up is not good for you. Because at the end of the day, but let's say you're having a conversation, then you burst and then you become violent.
That's the problem with these definitions is we don't know where the limits are.
That's the thing. But
It's easy to classify everything masculine as toxic masculinity. The problem here, I'm not toxic masculinity.
is there a toxic femininity?
I've never heard of anything like that.
So why does it have to be always?
Aye, we are the problem, Tin. You know, you ask vele. Like abafana khona inking. Mara lapho
Okay.
because there's no female to discuss this with. Yeah,
But man, it always, especially in such conversations, I always have a problem with these statements. Always, you know, because last time I checked, I keep on asking people, especially like, what does feminism mean? What is its point, or what is its objective?
What's the message? Yeah.
Yeah, and most people would tell me, Uguti, it's to reverse or to counteract a result to patriarchy. Right. That's what
Already, I'm lost.
you know, or because of the terms.
Yeah.
You know, thing is,
In about these terms, you think you know what they mean,
yeah,
but no, man. They're a bit more complicated than we think.
yeah.
And I think as if they made these things broad on purpose, like it should cover everything that we want the definition to cover.
Nah, there's a definition for patriarchy here. It says patriarchy may be understood as the power that men have over women.
What does power mean? Start it up.
Okay, let me finish, okay? But a more precise definition would be the power that certain men have over women and men. Within the family context, the father who controls the finances, owns the property, and has the final decision making is the patriarch. Young men thus may become patriarchs if they reach a certain age, but this is not always as given. You see, the power. What is power?
What's that?
In science.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
Don't do that.
That's the only power I know.
Yeah.
But according to
I know that power. Don't go there.
According to this
and
now.
as Kulumge power is series.
Yeah, no.
It's a different power.
I have a ghost.
What do they mean? Power over women, Joe.
They're saying meaning what you no longer listen to a woman, man. You take decisions based off how you feel, based off what you want. It's like if the woman says, I don't like this, you were like, yeah, well, I'm the man. This is my house. This is what you want to eat today. You know? So at some point, let's remember to controlling. You control everything. You're entitled to everything.
Okay, again.
Yeah.
Is that uniquely male? Is that uniquely masculine?
No.
Why is it toxic masculinity? Yeah?
Because we don't have a woman to
Why
tell
is it
you
not just being toxic humanity? Because
it's mostly done by men.
Serious?
It's mostly, that's why whenever we talk like patriarchy, man, it's associated to
okay
men.
Mhlambe if you go back a couple of years, namhlanje, is it still true that mostly?
No, it's not really, bruh. It's not really, and I don't have the stats to back it up.
I also don't.
Yeah, I don't have the stats to back it up.
I don't want us to drift into that. I just want to understand this toxic masculinity thing, Joe. Because I end up zoning out when people talk about these things. With toxic masculinity, it must not be toxic. And I'm like, I don't understand what you guys are trying to say.
That's why I keep on saying.
To me, it just feels like you want to control how I behave.
Same thing.
And I don't like that.
That's the thing. That's why you should do. Every time when someone says, I'm a feminist, I always have questions.
And this
for
thing,
them.
a threat to violence, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Ufika kanjani to that behavior?
Besides, we all know, Uguchi, biologically, men are more violent than women.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is that?
I don't know why.
Is it because you want to market territory?
I don't know why.
Okay.
But we all know that men are more... Let me not say violent. Men are more aggressive than women.
Okay.
Right? One person also said that's the reason why we have more men in jail than women.
Okay.
Men are... It comes with the hardware.
Yeah.
It's built into the hardware.
Yeah.
Evolutionary biology just gave you that.
Obviously.
You are more aggressive than your sisters. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
When does that become a toxic masculinity? And is that ever a good thing? Or did
I think
God, if you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, did evolution make a mistake?
Did the ancestors make a mistake?
Or did God make a mistake?
By
making us slightly more aggressive? Is there a good part to being aggressive?
Don't you think that could be sociological? Because
I don't think so.
You being aggressive or you being violent, let me say, I want to use the word violent.
Yeah.
It comes with uguti ukhule kanjani in most cases.
Not really.
There's
a reason why we were providers and protectors.
Back then.
Yes.
But now, the
hardware is still here.
The hardware is still here.
So, sisasenayo le vibe leyo.
You would say let's provide and protect.
Okay, I see you provide, protect.
Sure.
So my question is being aggressive and violent ever a good thing? And how do we differentiate that from toxic masculinity?
Bonak, let me try and answer that. I could be wrong.
Yes. We don't know anything in this podcast. We just talk.
The first question I have is that good to you. Who are you aggressive to? Who are you aggressive to? Because in most cases, we retaliate, especially when the side I'm aggressive.
Yeah,
it's because I'm retaliating to something.
Okay.
Right.
Is that toxic?
That could be toxic to labang, because in most cases it becomes toxic when let's say you slay and then feeling by aggressive go.
Okay, but is self-defense toxic?
No, it's not. That's self-defense.
Okay.
Firstly.
It is in a scenario game.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I like scenarios.
Story time.
Story time with him too.
Yeah.
A scenario. You are arguing with this girl.
Yeah.
And then she starts being violent towards you.
Yeah.
And then when you retaliate,
Yeah.
né?
Yeah.
And you beat her.
You beat
because we beat.
Yeah.
Né?
Yeah.
She was shoving you, punching you,
Yeah.
kicking you, and all of that.
Yeah.
Wakwata, you beat her.
Yeah.
Who's wrong?
She is wrong.
Even though you beat her.
Yeah, she is wrong.
However,
however, yeah.
If people hear the story, you, Vuyo, my man,
I'm wrong.
Congratulations, you are toxic.
I'm jailed. But that's one thing I've always have a problem. I always have a problem with, is that Guti, just because I have the upper hand,
yeah,
doesn't mean Guti manje you're wrong. It's, let's say
yeah.
Just because manje I am more powerful than you.
Equipped, yeah.
That's why in most cases, to avoid such, it's always told you it doesn't harm. Share around, show so more. You know, but does that make you wrong? Why?
That's why I'm asking. Okay, I sit out shy.
Yeah.
You beat.
You know, now they're no longer looking at the behavior.
No, but if behavior is gonna be isolated from scenario.
Yeah, they're gonna look at you, but
you are going to Mora B.
Now you're born to Ngaganan. You are powerful. Hardware is there.
But sure.
Hardware is there.
Okay.
So,
Mina, a question okay, see no wrong, no is that you acting out toxic masculinity?
No.
According to this thing, using or threatening violence is toxic masculinity.
Why is there no I'll check Google. Let me see if I can find toxic.
You can read it. Oksalayo. If you beat, you are toxic.
So manje in such
because
cases,
man city self-defense in general, it sounds innocent.
Yeah.
Because you could be defending yourself against a man.
Yeah.
What happens when it's a woman? Is my question.
Okay, let's see. Sorry, what was your question?
My question is, if you defend yourself using your physique to beat a woman, but this is self-defense, is it still classified under a toxic masculinity? And if, let me extend my question, if this woman that you end up beating is your significant other, is it domestic violence?
Hey, mfethu. Lamagama lawa afuna abantu abenza sociology ne psychology nani.
Okusalayo siyayiphila la lokushini lento le.
Yeah, it's,
so I want us to get some answers thina la inkambini.
Yeah, because as much as unoyibona lento, especially at the groove.
I heard a stats, ne?
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is, and it's not a South African stat.
Yeah.
It's an American stat. Apparently, 50% of all gender-based violence cases, women were the first one to strike. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's not exact,
so
even if the number is not right.
Yeah.
But the fact is, some of these cases, women were the first ones to beat.
It's usually
but
the
the
case.
man is making him beating has more power and causes more damage.
Yeah.
Is it still the man's fault to go to gender-based violence? Lapona is my question.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you have to say about that.
Yeah. I think I found something, because I'd like to know the definition of toxic femininity. Before how a woman toxic to us.
Did you find something?
Yeah, but
How Google ngoba vele you will never not find something.
yeah,
There's
it
always something
says
to find.
a definition: woman expressing stereotypical feminine traits such as passivity, empathy, sensuality, patience, tenderness. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. Okay, sorry. Bacon correct.
Don't be mad.
Tenderness, receptive.
Yeah, that's
result
tenderness is now toxic.
to women.
No. If women are being tender,
Mm.
it's toxic. But when as a man, you're encouraged. Express your feelings, Vuyo. Be more tender.
Let's see. Let me finish. Which result in individual ignoring their mental and physical needs to sustain those around them. Toxic femininity is when one works to benefit of others, but to detriment of them. But this, this
Ungakwati boy. We'll talk up. You know what? I think
because
okay.
Exactly the difference. Like the what you say is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Is the opposite of toxic femininity.
Okay, now I have some experiment for Google.
Yeah.
I need to see what is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to the definition. This is the definition of toxic masculinity. Let me find now a definition of masculinity.
Okay. Let's
And let's see what is the difference between general masculinity and toxic masculinity.
yeah.
Okay, definition. It qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men. Handsome, muscled and driven. He's a prime example of masculinity. Okay. Wait. Okay, nine. Yeah, mampela. Masculinity is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Ne? Although masculinity is socially constructed,
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Means it's built in a social platform. Like
So it's not genetic.
It's not genetic.
Wow.
It's not genetic.
I have problems already with the definition.
Yeah, we will
Let's
address
move
them
on.
later. Yeah.
Let's move on. Research indicates that some behaviors considered masculine are biologically influenced. How? Didn't you say it was socially constructed, Kanti? Okay. Contradiction. Agnanda, let's move on.
Yeah.
To what extent masculinity is biologically or socially influenced is subject to debate.
Okay. So now
Okay, I
there's
think
no
I'm not finding what I think it's traits. Yeah, let me find masculinity traits.
namhlanje sofunda uGoogle, ne?
Indaba ngisho siyazi lento sho.
Yeah.
And I want to know.
So
You see third link ikhuluma nge-toxic masculinity. I want to know what masculinity is. They are telling me about toxic masculinity.
I think there's something here. I remember, but don't it's a recorder, man. But masculinity as being socially constructed.
Okay.
There's this something, ne?
Okay.
Social construction.
Okay.
No, I just wanted
that
to
explains social construction. Okay, good.
The social construction of a gender.
Oh, okay.
The social construction of gender refers to the way in which people interact on daily basis with an established view of how men and women should behave. So basically, okay, there's this guy. I'll make an example.
Sure.
Pierre Bourdieu. I always talk. I'm sorry to pronounce it, He's sending me, but he's a French sociologist.
Okay.
So the guy says, all reality is a construct. We live in relation to our social ties. So you can never truly understand me without looking at some of the social guys, some of the close guys. And then, that's what he says.
Okay.
My identity is basically imprint, or
it's a derivative of the society.
Okay.
Okay.
So, which makes or it makes me question a lot of things now, because most of your identity yako, like nothing else you deviate because of social construct.
It's fine.
Most of your identity yako, if you look, it always comes from a household yako. Some, let me just say.
Okay, but let me just play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
He could say, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Household yako is part of your society.
Sure.
So still,
but the first time you socialize with people is with your family.
Sure.
So you gain some of my traits work from behavior. So if you grew up in a family, let's say, you can choose a different path. That's why you should.
I understand, but I'm questioning that already.
Yeah.
Uguchi, are you taking those behaviors from a family from watching them, or are you inheriting them genetically?
For me,
because there are people who don't know their parents.
Yeah.
But people who know the child and parent
claim
that you behave like your
father.
Parent. Yeah.
You know.
So how much of it is?
Yeah. That is still in debate. Whether you inherit them or you get them from a social construct.
Okay.
Google says that.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of masculine traits is stuff that we learn from others.
Yeah, definitely.
That is why, but for a male child, it's very important to have a father figure in the house.
Yeah.
For someone to learn the masculinity from. However,
yeah,
there are aspects of being a man that you just get because you have the hardware.
Yeah.
Because you are born with this body, there are some behaviors that will just be according to the body.
But now, I'll make an example of it from what you're telling me. You get some of the things just because you have the body.
Sure.
Are you telling me that if a car, it's an example.
Sure.
The most important part of the car is the engine.
Okay, yeah.
So just because ngihamba M4,
sure,
engine yethatha, what does that make me? Does that still make me an M4?
I don't know where you're going with this M4 and Tata.
No, I hope I'm making an example because I have the body of a man.
Sure.
But that doesn't necessarily mean because the M4 automatically with the hardware and the software you're gonna behave in a certain manner.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah.
I think this is very important to establish. Whenever we are talking about human beings, whatever we say about human beings is not true 100% of the time.
Yeah.
There are cases that will deviate from the norm.
Definitely.
But in general, an overwhelming population of the male gender behaves to some extent a certain way simply because they are that particular gender.
Okay.
Example, there was an experiment done with kids, male kids, female kids, very young kids who have very little capacity to learn isn't as extreme and complex and advanced from is in public. And they tested which gender is more attracted to specific types of toys. It's clear boys were not taught to know what guns are. As soon as they see that thing, they don't even know what it is. They want to know what this thing is. They play with that.
Okay.
Dolls, ladies.
It
comes with the hardware, Joe.
So the ladies went for the dolls.
Yes.
But
another experiment they found that the reason why there are more female nurses and more male engineers is because in general, females tend to be more interested in working with people. And men tend to be more interested in working with things.
Okay.
It comes with the hardware. You don't learn.
Does it really come with the hardware?
It's not true 100% of the cases.
It's not true simply because I think in my mind at some point they have a prior knowledge or they've seen it behavior from mentally. Because let's say if you do an experiment immediately we got to keep them done. The environment is an example, I don't know, Tarzan is fictional.
Sure.
But Utazan, I don't really recall the movie, but he then adapted to the environment of the monkeys and chimpanzees and all that.
Okay,
he started behaving like
one. I get your point.
Yeah.
Objection yamnai. With some of these experiments,
yeah.
Bawayenze in countries that were trying to equalize the playing field.
Okay.
But still, if people are left to their own choices, they still converged towards what we know of their genders.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's all biological. I'm definitely not. I don't know enough to make that conclusion.
Okay.
But I'm saying some of it is biological. So if some of it is biological, should it in biology a toxic?
Okay, I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how to answer that
That's
question.
my question, yeah.
I don't know.
Confused, okay. So if you guys are saying we are toxic, we are born this way, Joe.
Not everything in our way, you are born with it.
Why is it
Omatublan? It's because we saw it somewhere.
Serious?
Bruh,
I
hate guns. Generally, I hate guns. Obviously, they were not interested in it.
But there were other female characters in movies.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
why are they not interested in it?
the nurturing part. Remember,
because
biology. But that's not entirely correct.
Okay.
What then makes, I think, it comes to those not emotions, man. What are those things, man? Hormones.
Okay.
Hormones. The level of your hormone yako. Now it plays a role biologically.
Yeah.
Testosterone yako.
Yeah.
Your estrogen.
I don't know if biological.
Yeah, now I great stuff. Brian.
Yeah.
So
that's what I know. Sure.
It's always found that women have more estrogen than men.
Yeah.
Men have more testosterone.
Okay.
Which
yeah, I wanna with testosterone uzigahle. What are the effects of having a testosterone?
Makes you more physically stronger, I think. Google that shit, bruh.
What is the testosterone? What are the effects of your testosterone to your behavior? That's what I want to know.
I check Google samples opinion.
Google. If a testosterone does actually have implications on behavior, then by default, we all must agree with there's some aspect of our behavior as men that is only due to testosterone.
Yeah.
That is not learned from the public.
It's biological.
Yes.
Okay. That could be correct.
Shuti testosterone. I see hormonally right. Shuti toxic.
So we are not the toxic one, it's the hormone.
No, I'm not shifting the blame, but I'm saying.
But why do you have why do you always have to take it blame?
And
I really want to know I'm an activist because they always come here and be like,
Joe,
men this, men that.
I think we are failing our listeners, Joe. We need to get someone who is on the other side of this thing, Joe.
Or someone who knows more about this thing.
Yeah.
But thinking
but they are hard to find.
That's the problem. You only find social media activists.
Oh, all right. Done. Testosterone plays a role in in certain behaviors, including aggression and dominance.
You're done.
I'm
dropping
done.
The mic.
Mic drop.
So it's biological.
So
our toxicity.
Aggression. Kumbula la definition. It was part of a trait of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Testosterone makes you more aggressive.
So basically.
So chutina kahle mistake ukuthi benje. Is that what they are saying mabathi toxic masculine?
Put that on the comment section.
I understand the boy the vibe. I understand. And it's please, if you're listening and you know someone who can help us with the conversation, guys, please.
Because manje it's always the case ukuthi lezinto lezimazivela socially construct. It's always good as vela bafana nje now. Because even no mukula, but this behavior is expected from you because you are a boy.
But vela bathi boys will be boys.
And that's not the case.
Boys will be boys.
That's not the case. Simply because manje, tina, I know we sidlala rough.
But why? Did we learn that?
No, but at some point we've learned them.
Zikhona zilearned.
Yeah. Khona wazana.
But zikhona ezikuhardware mfana.
Dominant, angisho.
Ne-aggression.
So remember, Pella, even animals do the same thing. In order for you to mark territory, remember according to science, we are animals.
Yeah.
So tina njengoba sema animals, si evolve,
Yeah.
but our hardware or our software hasn't evolved enough.
Yeah.
Because even in the days of Oboshar, we would fight for pisnyana of land.
I mean, bafethu ngathi ngithembele kuma listeners. If you know something that you don't know, bafethu, just hook us up with a guest.
Yeah, so
someone who knows these things, Joe.
Because it's really interesting because these are things esivumelana ngazo kuwo wonke ama social platform. Yeah, patriarchy, yeah, you're toxic, yeah,
you are. Ngifila ngathi iways fashionini, boy. Yeah. People agree with it because it's woke.
But
you must be woke, Vuyo.
You can't be woke without the reasons, not.
Aye, people don't reasons. We'll see reasons later. Reasons.
Imagine how
we are woke.
And not even in the court of law.
Skinny jeans, woke, boy.
Nah. We do need to know these things, not because.
That's why I'm asking questions, fam.
Yeah.
Because I really don't understand toxic masculinity. Okay, you understand Gucci. And this is what I understand from. Yeah. I get what they are trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Again, because now le angazi ukuthi is it because it's becoming worse or ukuthi in a spotlight ukuthi ama cases where violence against women.
Yeah.
Angazi ukuthi ayakhuphuka or ukuthi sesiwanake kakhulu angikho sure.
Yeah.
But they are trying to solve that.
Kanjani?
By trying to change the behavior of men.
Is it always the case that indoor tiba wrong? Because remember I said as people trigger you. So
they are saying that 50% of these cases, the woman was the first one to lay hand on the other person. But you are retaliator law. CT in mind.
And in most cases, Njobo should testosterone. They have
more aggressive.
So the moment you hit,
boy. Unlike yaki. And on average, normally if people are in a relationship, the man tends to be taller than the woman, which means they are probably bigger than the woman. But how do we deal with that?
And then
don't tell me not to do anything. It's out of the question. Melang is defend. How?
Walk away, maybe.
Okay, we are be realistic.
Mokwati.
Uqeda ungishange mpama boy. Ngiyabila.
Turn the other cheek. That's what the Bible says. Turn the other cheek.
Hi boy, angazi. Ayangazi.
But mara when it comes to
angithi mshayi. Go wrong.
Solution.
Ukushayana in general go wrong. No, angifuni solution yet. Ngifuna understand ukuthi makuyileyo case leyo. I problem ikuphi? Si solve ngakuphi? Silungisa umchitha. Or silungisa uchair?
Fix both. Why can't you do both?
Okay. Asithi akakushayanga, asithi ukhulume something very offensive.
So you beat them.
Something that if bekuyenye out wamshaya, we would not question you.
Yeah.
But now because it's a female, what happens? Do we question you now because gender changed?
You are toxic.
Hey.
You are toxic. Why ushaya abantwana babana?
I see me testosterone.
That's the thing. We are trying to break down the term the toxic masculinity and what is deemed to be toxic to men, it is toxic to women.
Yakana mina ngifila kanjani ngale way le Jone. Mabakhuluma ngale zinto ezi toxic to men. I feel like they are defining a large portion of what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
As we understand it.
Yeah.
And the problem yam anginankinga naloko. Okay. mhlambe vele kumele change at some point.
Yeah.
Mara basitshela ukuthi seyikuphi.
Who monitors such?
I don't know. The
Because
same people who are monitoring toxic masculinity must monitor the masculinity. Abasiniki definition right ke. Mele senzeni?
Because that's the thing with most people, but you only have a say after the incident has occurred. Most people bafuna a lawyer after they're found guilty or bakubomba uchonje. Kanozothi uyofuna lawyer. So when it comes to utopic masculinity and toxic masculinity, there's a lot of things we don't understand. Because if you think, well, Mina, when I went to the initiation school,
sure,
the teachings there, some of them were not good.
Some of them were toxic masculinity.
Some of them were toxic.
Like legit toxic masculinity.
Yeah, but fortunate enough, some of the things because Kulumalapa were building.
Okay.
Yeah, that you must provide
and
protect.
I think we are not advanced enough as a generation of thinkers to be able to listen to both of what they are saying and be able to take the good and leave out the bad.
Yeah.
Sivele sithi uyabheda asiklaleli.
So when it came to, because obviously advice and assembly.
Sure.
When I got home, they gave me advices. Say, Baba, you don't have to disrespect Mama Komanja just because you are from there.
Sure.
You don't have to disrespect a family just because you're from there. And you are not the man of the house.
Yes.
There is a father here.
Yes.
That Umsebenzi wakhe is to mold you and build you.
And this is his house. You don't have anything. Well.
And you have to respect.
Yes.
I get that.
Yes.
I get that. So I grew up with that same mentality. It's okay, family first. They always push it to family.
Sure.
So you have to go to church, but family.
Yeah.
And must monitor on look at behavior of some of the initiates.
Sure.
It's way different from what we were taught. Especially in different cultures. Because remember, this is happening especially in South Africa.
Sure.
In all the cultures, there's Ndebele, there are Sutus, there are
Xhosas, also do
Amapedi,
it,
you know. And if you look at the behavior of
Namandebele,
let me just
sure.
If you look at the behavior of Mababuya out there, it's much different.
I find.
And would you say when would Marayale kukupugi testosterone or feeling or wapustegi ego?
Okay, engin food.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. Okay, back. Now the testosterone le.
Yeah.
Ailingani amongst men of all ages.
Yeah, sure.
Aspect iskhathi abayanga sentabeni. And let's look at iskhathi like testosterone increases.
Go on.
Okay, as in it sounds like I'm putting a blame on the testosterone too. And
it does sound like that.
I don't want to do that.
Does sound like that.
The whole point of me mentioning testosterone was to show you that biology has something to do with it. Actually, testosterone phela. Yeah.
And we are no expecting.
And testosterone is responsible for yonke into wrong enzakalayo.
Yeah. Some
question yam futhi was not bengasho ukuthi izinto ezi because of testosterone zi wrong. Bengibuza.
Yeah.
Bengibuza ukuthi lezi ezi because of testosterone sithini ngazo zi wrong vele.
Yeah.
That was my question.
You being aggressive
but
now.
Nje into engisho ukuthi ngiyavuma there is part of bad behavior by men that is learned from other men and from society.
True.
But some of these things that you are saying are toxic masculinity. To me, they sound like are behaviors that are not learned.
Uza now.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if okay, uza now, yes. And they are also part of what makes us different from women.
Okay.
Ilapho ngifuna bangibalance net lapho boy. Ngilahleka lapho.
So who do you think is
Masithi this is toxic?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do that is unique to me being a man? Don't tell me to act like a woman. I'm not a woman. I'm a man.
who like ubani othi makakhuluma nathi when it comes to behaving like a man nathi, you shouldn't act like that and start behaving in a certain, because it's always the case with the, it's always, especially Dave Chappelle, victim blame.
Sure.
What was she wearing? Why? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It is jalo man, like it's
nayo leyo yenye end man yazini.
It is jalo ukuthi manje ukuthi this is what is expected of men, especially like this is what we expect from you guys, especially my siblings. We fight and say, hey, what am I saying? Deviate and and confused. There's a pie. Let me take a breather because young nyanyas and topic toxic masculinity. We really
pisses me off, Joe.
We really need
pisses me off, Joe,
to break,
because it sounds judgmental. It doesn't sound corrective. It sounds judgmental. It sounds like you're being blamed for being born a certain gender.
They're pointing fingers.
It sounds like that to me,
pointing
Joe.
Fingers.
It sounds like just because unale hardware wrong boy asifunguzwa ungasitsheli kudala bomkhulu bakho basiphethe into naphi mina lapho.
That's what
ngiyazihasilela nginaniksi nami nyancenga njengabotsheri kanti wayemele,
but because you're a man.
Exactly, that's how it feels like, that's how it sounds like to me.
So manje, have you read the book yaga the lady Chimamanda?
I've read a book.
We all should be feminist. We should be all feminists.
No, not that one. Not that one. Yeah. And recently naye ama-feminist amjikele recently.
Athini manje ama-feminist?
Okay, there was this issue e-America. Angithi sekawenda ngara manje.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah, there was this issue e-America yokuthi should transgender females, which means people who were males and then changed to be females, should they be allowed to participate in women's sports? Nah?
Yeah.
Because now they are women.
Yeah.
And then that was the big debate. Which Chimamanda, no. Let's not get it wrong. The hardware by far near females.
Yeah.
Some things were changed about the hardware, but they still have advantages of being males for a certain portion of their lives.
Yeah.
So competition ayikho fair. Bamjikela boy, but she is against women because these people are also women. Bamjikela.
You don't touch the alphabet people.
Ushilo as Chappelle.
Yeah, you don't touch the alphabet.
Mara asikho lapha. La eMzansi I don't think it's a problem ye alphabet. La eMzansi sinenkinga ye men and women.
Yeah, men and women. And some men affecting the alphabet people.
Eish. Mara, it's not as big as this one.
Not as big, yeah. It's not as big as this one.
Gender-based violence, boy. Inkulu la eMzansi.
Yes.
Inkulu. And the song kasiyazi ants. Khona pretenda ngathi bayazi. Bese bafuna ukusitshela bangafuna ukusilalela.
Abobani.
Abanye so abasema TV nasema radio.
No, there are people abathengisa image of it. I want to say something that is socially correct.
That is woke.
Yeah, I want to
be liked by everyone.
Yeah, I want to trend.
Thinking.
I want to trend. That's one thing I don't.
That's why ngilalela podcast ngingalaleli radio.
I don't care about our celebrities. Anginandaba now.
Angwazi mina vele.
I go to the groove and people will be like, I don't give a damn who's there.
Hayi mina ngibazi vele sinokuhlangana nabo emagigini angibazi mina abanye babo labantu laba. Angizazi nale ngoma zabo ezibhora.
Bari uyazidlala.
Ispan.
Job. But one thing is, there's one thing I must understand when it comes to, even if I'm a celebrity, these people are humans as well. They have opinions.
Yes, and they are not always right.
Born are very special because they don't do research.
And I think they tend to be more wrong than the average logical person because they try to follow our trends.
Yeah, I want to say something that is socially correct.
Yes, without engaging your own thoughts. Once you tabanga, siya cancel.
That's the problem about the and that lose the income.
Yeah, Vuyo must fall because Vuyo was trying to think. This is why I don't like being on social media because I was on social media. Once you say something that is not in line with everything on the person's feed, so toxic. So
you must be cancelled. But man,
this thing is running long like the previous one. Just cool again.
But we need answers. Just because
but let's think about closing.
So just before we close, Stella Abantu, who know certain people or who know a certain
please,
person.
Joe, because we tried to get some people.
Yeah.
Mara akhlangani. We're gonna try again. We're gonna try some. I think I have something in my mind that I'm gonna talk to Vuapa. We're gonna try to get some people here.
Yeah, and would like to see them a feminist out there.
Yes.
If you are a feminist,
all the people that I'm thinking we should get are females, because sesikhona thina. And sizozikhulumela, so sifuna someone who's gonna come with an opinion that's not like ours. Educate us where we are lacking. Yeah, and let's talk. Maybe sizoya phambili by just talking.
Yeah, we do need to understand ezinye izinto, man.
Yeah, man. Ngiyafisa uku understand le vibe. Because I don't wanna conclude ngithi in nonsense. Because I get what they are trying to do, Joe.
Yeah.
But hayi man, iyang confuse.
Yeah.
And abahlupha ngoba bafuna ukubuzwa, ababuza ngathi yaba oppose.
And abafuna ukuphendula direct question.
Yeah, abaphendula ama politician.
Yeah, they don't answer your question. They always
babuza ngenyama bathi yakena cheese boy yenziwe yeah.
As it be muscle mosh. As it done. Hey, this is we out, guys.
Let's just close this thing.
Yeah.
Guys,
see you on the next episode
week
with a new episode.
Yes.
Remember, like and comment, subscribe, and follow us on our social media platform.
Yeah, the links are in the description. Go YouTube.
Yeah,
and the podcast, whatever podcasting platform you are listening on.
Spotify, Google Podcast.
Yeah, just look at the description. You'll find the details of where to get us.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Enjoy. Share with your friends.
We are depressed. Yeah, I'm pretty much sad
because
depressed.
I'm a toxic what?
Yeah, this is my toxic trait.
Yeah, you're toxic.
Sharp.
Okay, my face sharp.